How much y'all want to bet that these Shevchenko worshippers have never taken a good look at her record? Because they view her and treat her like a god, which is so unmanly. They never hold her up to the same scrutiny that they hold other fighters up to. We look at other fighters, first thing we do, pull out their record. Because a fighter's record tell you some of their strengths and weaknesses. That's a record of their work. And when you look at Shevchenko's record, it's not really strong. It's not as strong as people make it out to be. She was almost unbeatable. She was virtually unbeatable a while ago when she was at her peak. Now she's beatable. Everybody knows that now. And she is no longer, there's no reason at all to view her as even remotely unbeatable. Now let's look at why. Bottom line is Shevchenko struggles against fighters who can match her strength. That's what it is. When a fighter can match her strength, her physical strength, / ground game, Shevchenko herself struggles, even if she's a much better striker, which is, I don't know why. See, I'm not a nut hugger. If you have the belt, I'm going to examine you. You're going to be under the microscope a little more. And people not used to that, us doing that with Shevchenko. Look at her record. When she got that belt, scratch that. Before she got the belt, her first fight at 125, Priscilla Cachoeira. Not a ground fighter. Priscilla was not a ground fighter. She was a pure striker. Joanna, pure striker, not a ground fighter. But Valentina could not stop Joanna because Joanna's takedown defense was too good. Her ability to get back to her feet was too good. Whenever Shevchenko struggled to take you down, struggle to keep you down, she's going to struggle to stop you, period. Chances are she's not going to stop you with strikes. So Joanna, somebody who came up from 115, that was the only fight she had at 125, went all 5 rounds. All because she had decent, above average takedown defense and ability to get back to her feet. Just above average. That was all it took. And there were some competitive pockets in that fight. Jessica I. She was, again, another fighter who was not a ground fighter. Not a ground threat. But Shevchenko bested her with strikes. That was Shevchenko's best striking performance, in my opinion. Best performance on her feet against Jessica I. Again, a boxer. Which is why I thought she'd do better against Grasso. Liz Carmouche. Now, she is a ground threat. But Shevchenko was stronger than Liz. So that was an easy fight. But all 5 rounds again, Liz had some amount of ground game, couldn't keep Liz down. So again, if Shevchenko can keep you down, and especially if she have trouble getting you down, you're going to go all 5 rounds. These are all vulnerabilities. That's just what it is. And they have to be looked at to determine who she's going to have problems with going forward. Katlyn Chookagian, another fighter who was not a ground fighter. Pure striker. Okay? And she was nowhere near as strong as Shevchenko. Jennifer Maia, very strong. And what happened? Shevchenko lost a round for the first time against Jennifer Maia. Somebody who's not really a ground fighter, but who wanted to be a ground fighter in that fight because she realized that she can match Shevchenko's physical strength. Maya wants to box another boxer. And Shevchenko still couldn't finish her. Even though Jennifer is very hard to stop. But in the striking department, it wasn't a one-sided affair against Jennifer Maia. Maia definitely had her moments all the way up until the last round, striking with Valentina. She was able to get Andrade down, so she dominated Andrade. Again, if you can't deal with Valentina on the ground, she's going to beat you. If you can, Lauren Murphy, no ground game. And before she fought Taylor Santos, I said this is going to be Valentina's most difficult fight at 125, and it was. People act like I haven't been accurate in my analysis of Valentina and the layout, the unfolding of her fight career. I said that would happen, and it happened. It's going to be the toughest fight of Valentina's career. I said it's going to be even tougher than her fights against Nunes, and it was. Why? Because she couldn't bully Santos. That was all it took. Who the better striker, Santos or Valentina? Well, why was Valentina so reluctant to strike with Taylor? In almost each exchange, Valentina was the one who insisted on taking the fight to the ground. Taylor put up one hint of feistiness on the feet. Shevchenko said, nope, let's go to the ground. And almost got stopped. And many people felt like she lost to Taylor Santos. This could legitimately be a red block right here. All because she finally ran against somebody who had physical strength, who could match her strength in ground game. That ain't no invincible fighter from this sea. That's a fighter with holes, with vulnerabilities. And that's the problem I got with a lot of these Shevchenko fanatics. You never hear them, you never see them analyzing Shevchenko's vulnerabilities and weaknesses, her shortcomings. But we sit back and do it with other fighters. That's nut hugging. It's not going down on this channel. And then when she gets defeated, it's not even by a strong ground fighter. What's happening here? So it's not just strong ground fighters that gives her problems. And in that fight, she was submitted on the ground. So again, what happens when she comes across a strong ground fighter who can have moments like Grasso had in the first fight more often? I look at things like this when I make predictions. And like I said, this ain't the same Shevchenko. This ain't the same division. And I'm not going to be blindly picking Shevchenko no matter who she matched up against. And it's all because of these vulnerabilities I'm going over right now. The rematch against Alexa Grasso. I don't care what nobody say, Grasso won that fight. Ain't got nothing to do with no goofy judges, no 10-8 round, and none of that. Because I gave Grasso 3 rounds. She won round 2, round 4, and round 5 on my card. 10-9. I don't care nothing about no 10-8 card. Think about them judges. I'm the judge. Grasso won that fight. And she had more big moments. And that's why a Grasso highlight reel from that trilogy is more entertaining. Oh yeah. Let's say it again. A Grasso highlight reel from that trilogy is more entertaining than a Shevchenko highlight reel from that trilogy. Get a Shevchenko highlight reel, all you're going to see a couple submission attempts and fails and some jabs. Some jabs. You might see a right hand here and there, but you're not going to see nothing where Grasso is on the edge of losing, on the edge of being stopped, being beaten on, pinned down, where her mobility is limited, where her opponent is controlling her physical body. When you exercising control over your opponent's body as well as landing shots on them, that's far more significant than landing jabs while you both standing on your feet. Grasso won that rematch. Shevchenko, really, this was 3 losses in a row for Shevchenko. Let's talk about it. That's what it is. For this unbeatable fighter. Y'all like being unrealistic, hugging female nut sacks. Go ahead and knock yourself out. I got too much testosterone for that. She could legitimately have 3 losses right here and would have desperately had to finally get a win by what? Blanket, lay, and pray, tap, tap, tap. Now, she may have outclassed Grasso on the feet. She may have won the majority of exchanges on the feet, but I wasn't impressed. Grasso's moments on the feet where she won was more significant than Shevchenko's. I wasn't impressed. I didn't see nothing when they were standing that woke me up, that stood me up out my seat. I didn't see Grasso get punched in the face so hard she did a backflip. I didn't see her taking shots as hard as the shots she took from Grasso over this trilogy. And like I pointed out before, Grasso is probably the easiest fighter to take down of all the fighters up at the top right here. Grasso probably got the worst takedown defense of all of them. And you telling me Shevchenko lost to her? Went through a trilogy with her? Even the people who think Valentina won the rematch, you still got to admit she was in a war. She was pushed. She was challenged by a fighter who really don't do much. Jab, jab, right cross. Grasso ain't doing a variety of stuff. Not the variety we've seen from Shevchenko, and she was struggling with her? What am I supposed to conclude? That Valentina is unbeatable? Stop it. No, she's in trouble. And if you ask me, if she don't want to look bad on her way out the door, if she don't want to tarnish her legacy, smartest thing for her to do is to do Amanda Nunes and retire now, even though she's still able to continue fighting. Go ahead and retire. It is not unprecedented. It's not something new. We've seen it happen before. Go ahead and retire now. There's far less chance she's going to have no dominant streak going forward. In fact, she's going to be up against fighters who are more of a stoppage threat than herself. So they're going to have moments where they're clearly going for a stoppage where Shevchenko is not. I believe the chances that Shevchenko loses going forward is much higher, 4 to 5 times higher than it was when she was at her peak. You're talking about Manon Fior, even Alexa Grasso. Even though she beat Alexa, that's not a guaranteed victory for Shevchenko. At the very least, that's what you have to admit. And Manon, we don't know what's going to happen in that fight, but I seriously doubt Valentina's going to be able to maul and control Manon like she did. There ain't no way she's going to be able to do Manon. Manon got really superhuman strength for a chick at 125. That's just what it is. Erin Blanchfield, again, don't know what's going to happen in that fight. But I guarantee you Erin is going to be more active, more tenacious, and going to be actively more after a stoppage. Let's see her football tackle Erin all night. And Suarez, don't get it twisted. Suarez is a wrestler. And in that wrestling culture, it's a thing for them to be at the lowest weight possible so it could be big during the fight. She can fight at 125. Again, Valentina, was she going to football tackle Suarez all night? Or even Wei Li Zhang? She's going to be in trouble. Natalia Silva, Rose Namajunas. No. Shevchenko, however, in my opinion, makes a better champion for the division than Alexa Grasso. She still has far more clout than Alexa Grasso and is far more proven. She's the first fighter to fill all 8 rubies. She's just more established. She has more accolades. She makes a better champion. And if somebody were to come along and beat Valentina in a more dominant, more convincing fashion than Alexa Grasso, they're going to get that clout that Grasso didn't quite get. Somebody go in there and convincingly outstrike Valentina and maybe even stop her on top of that. They're going to get that clout that wasn't given to Grasso. So she does make a better champion, in my opinion. And there's, again, possibility of fights between Shevchenko and other fighters that we've been looking forward to for a long time. But we don't know if that's going to happen at all. Wei Lee, for example, been talking about coming up 125. We don't know if that's going to happen. Don't know who she's fighting next. And that's crazy, too, because Suarez is about to fight Verna. And we know Wei Lee's not going to fight Yan. I won't be surprised if we hear Wei Lee challenge Valentina again. Like, hey, what's going on? Let's get that fight in. Do y'all think that's a guaranteed win for Valentina? Yeah, she coming for 115. So did Alexa Grasso. So this second wave, this second title defense of Shevchenko, she's now one of, I think, 2 fighters to ever regain the title back. This second title reign, I'm going to predict she's going to lose before she gets to 6 title defenses. And every title defense she make is going to be a serious challenge, a tougher challenge than any challenge she had during her first title reign, aside from Taylor Santos.